We're big fans of the Unlock series, but did you know that you can get 5 games for free?
Today we're going to be looking at each one and telling you how you can get a copy for yourself.
Now, we first picked up one of the Unlock boxes with the Star Wars theme because we're really into that theme and thought, we'll give them a go. But since then, we've had a whole collection of them to work through and find them really fun. They're the kind of game that you can pick up with anyone and have a great evening. They are from Templar, so the younger people in the household can enjoy them too, and we've played with people in their 70s and 80s. They often play up to 6, occasionally we've played with more people than that, but it's really about being able to see the cards and work around the table together.
The Unlock series of tabletop puzzle games are a mixture of escape room and those point-and-click adventure games used to play on a computer. Playing against the clock, cooperative players have to solve a number of crafty puzzles to progress through the scenario. But the required app does more than just count down the amount of time left. You use it to input puzzle answers, get clues, and even at times interact with the machine's contraptions shown on the game's cards.
Each adventure has its own little deck of numbered cards, and as you play, the game instructs you which cards that you have to draw and which ones to discard. On the non-numbered side of the card, there might be new locations to search, something of interest within the game world, a new puzzle, someone to interact with, a tool or an item. Items can even be used in combination with other cards to solve any of the riddles.
You have to work out patterns and codes from the limited information you have on the cards, inputting codes into the app that will allow you to progress through the story.
As cards are unlocked, you'll feel like you're actually making progress, so that's always a good feeling. Each adventure takes either sort of 30 minutes for these smaller ones or an hour for the longer ones.
Each hint you use and each incorrect answer you input into the app will remove precious minutes from your remaining time, leading to a worse score when you finish your adventure.
Do be aware that you don't have to finish the game at the end of the time limit. You would have technically failed, but you can still complete the challenge.
Playing an Unlock game doesn't require you to ruin the components. Once you've played the game, you'll know the solution of course, but there's nothing stopping you passing on the game to a friend once you're done. What's really great about the Unlock games is they each come with a tutorial, and the tutorial is 10 cards and it takes about 10 minutes to play. So if someone hasn't played one of these, all you need to do is lay out those cards and the game pretty much explains how to play it themselves. And the tutorial is kind of interesting because that's very similar to these style of games.
There's 5 different themes that you can pick from again. I mean, we've played all of them, but if there was one that particularly suited you and your family or group of friends, then you can see if you like the unlocks, and if you do, you can delve into the world.
It's worth noting that the Unlock games do tend to vary a bit in quality. Some are fantastic, some are okay. We've had ones where we've loved, and other ones where it's just kind of been fun. It's generally quite fun.
Yeah, and sometimes that's linked to their level of difficulty. There are some where I think people might get frustrated if it was a bit of a stretch for them to work out how to do a particular element within the game. People might get frustrated, or others you might just be turned off by the theme or find it that you sort of whizzed through it and it was too easy for you. So I think that does affect things.
We tend to tailor the game we play with the type of people we're playing with. So we played a Greek Odyssey one with quite learned people, and we played the video game one with younger people because that's probably the least scary. But I think you're right. I think if you stumble across a puzzle you can't solve, it very much sours the entire experience because the games are built around tension with that perpetually ticking clock on the app. And when you're seeing that clock count down, you just either don't know what you're meant to be doing next or can't solve one puzzle. It gets a bit too tense in a way. So some have been really good, some have just been a bit average, but on the whole it's a generally really good series. And what's good about the boxes is the themes are always quite diverse. So while you might not like one, there's probably going to be one in there you do like. And the difficulty of each one, there tends to be an easier one. I think there tends to be a medium kind of difficulty one.
Yeah, sort of one of each sort of level in each box. So, and you might find that you start with the easier one, and then as you get more familiar with the games and what kind of things tend to solve some of the puzzles, although they like to mix it up and use different elements, you'll get that style of thinking. So it's like doing an escape room. Once you've done some, you kind of know the type of thinking that you need to be heading for to be able to sort of imagine different things that will happen next?
Yeah, I think you kind of click into the unlock logic, really.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you kind of go, okay, we've done something similar in another game, it's probably lending us towards this. But then having said that, particularly in the Star Wars one, where we played first of all, that had some mechanics in that aren't in any of the other games. So they are kind of evolving as the series goes on. So, what do you get in this? So the first one we actually played was called The Elite.
The Elite was like a casino type game,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's set in Vegas, and you're testing a security system essentially. I found this one, although it's the first one we played, to be most like the tutorial.
Yeah. But I think then if you're thinking, oh, I might like unlock, but I'm not sure, then because this acts as an extended tutorial, I think it then gives you that opening, am I going to like the way these games work? And then am I going to want to delve in any further or not? Then that's quite a good option for that.
After that, we played In Pursuit of Capricorn, which was a kind of almost Indiana Jones style Mayan adventure.
I think this was my favourite. Like the theme sort of grabs me into this one. So, and I think the theming really helps with these games to engage you into it. So if you're looking through them, find a theme that you like, and I think that you're likely going to enjoy that hour or half hour in the case of these with your fellow players.
Yeah, this one and maybe the Egypt one felt most like a proper kind of bigger unlock. It felt quite exciting. I think we were swinging across gaps, and it all got a bit quite exciting in this one.
Yeah. And we played all these as a 2, whereas most of the other games we have played with a higher player count, so minimum of 4 up to 7 or 8, which it doesn't say that you can on the box, but you can.
It's how many people can you crowd around so everyone can see it.
Yeah.
Is more than that.
But these smaller ones, we've just played the 2 of us, and I think they do have that versatility that you can play in a smaller group, or a little gathering is fine too.
Next up, Fifth Avenue. So this is the Mafia one set in Manhattan.
Yeah, and it's got that great sort of Gatsby style artwork on some of the cards. So the artwork on these cards looks great, and looks as good as you would expect in the other games.
Yeah, I mean, just because they were free, it looks like a proper game. No, I like this one. It had I remember a really good book puzzle in it.
Yeah, and it reminded me of being in the film Untouchables. That had that kind of theme going on.
You could play these solo. There's no reason you couldn't. But I thought the book puzzle was useful because you were taking the symbols and I was comparing against the book, and I think that worked really well.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
So then we have Doiran Dungeon. This was like a medieval, almost Gloomhaven style-y, the archetypal kind of fantasy romp, I suppose. We got quite stumped at the very start of this one. If you remember, there's a well, and the puzzles on this one hinge around spell casting, and often it got a bit confused whether you're meant to use ice or water or fire type magics, and often it seemed like the solution could be any one of those.
Yes,
and it derailed us quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we did use a lot of hints. I think this one was the one we were closest to time on.
Okay.
I think we're successful with this one,
Yes.
but only just.
Yeah. No, I think we managed to succeed in all of these ones, where there has been 1 or 2 of these where we've overrun a little bit.
No one know. Next up, Temple of Ra, the Egypt one.
And this is another one that I really like the artwork on. The theming's great. You get that sort of mythological Egyptian feel going on. There was a little bit of a hiccup.
This was the game it's technically cheating, but we had to pause the clock because there's one puzzle in this where we kept on getting the answer wrong, and it felt like it wasn't an intuitive puzzle. It felt like the solution to it, I don't want to obviously ruin it, but it felt like the solution to it wasn't something that was in keeping with the other games, and it just felt a bit, I don't know, that, like I was saying earlier, that kind of soured my experience of this one, because now I just remember it as being that annoying puzzle we couldn't do.
But my favourite one's definitely the Mayan of this lot.
Yeah,
I think your favourite.
I think the Indiana Jones Mayan one was good. I quite like the dungeony one with the dragon at the end, because I felt that the conclusion to that felt quite epic when we were trying to shoot the dragon. And
yes, that was fun.
But the reason these are universally all good though is because they don't actually cost you any money. What you can do is go to the Space Cowboys website, and on that gives you the opportunity to download what are called demo adventures. These work with the app in exactly the same way as the normal games. What I did was I used a company called Doxzoo to print them all out. They come as PDFs and you can print them double-sided and then just cut them out of a paper cutter. What was good about that is it otherwise would use a lot of ink. Each game has got about 25 cards.
Yeah, and I think you do need to have a really good quality print if you're going to do this, because some of the cards you're looking for very tiny details on them, maybe small numbers that lead you to another card. So if you haven't got a great quality printer, then you would need to get them printed. Otherwise you'll lose some of the elements and the gameplay will be ruined because of you being able to see the detail or not.
I think that's certainly true in the casino one and in the dungeon one.
Yeah.
You definitely need a good quality printer, and also again in the one with the books with the templates you have to look at. So it didn't cost very much to print these. What I tend to do is print quite a lot of print and play games at the same time to reduce the cost of postage. But online companies are happy to print these because they're available for free, so you're not infringing on kind of copyright there, as long as you don't obviously sell them. And I think it makes a big difference, because then we can take these to game nights and say, well, we can play a shorter version of Unlock, and then that might lead into playing it again, because every time we played an Unlock with someone,
they've always asked to play again.
Everyone said, well, I want to play another one of those.
Particularly non-gamers, like family that I've played with, they've come down in the summer and we did the piratey kind of themed one here, and we're going to be seeing them over the festive period, and they're saying, oh, can we play another Unlock? Like, we really enjoyed it, it was really good fun to get together. So I think they'd make quite a nice little Secret Santa type thing, because if you can get a little box to put them in, put a bow around it and things, it's quite a cheap way. You can probably print for less than a £5.
Yeah, I printed the games, including a little box. The total cost was, I think, £5.36. And if you tot up how much we spent playing these, that's a good 2.5 hours, 3 hours of playtime from minimal expense. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed our little glimpse into the world of free Unlock, if you will. Links are available down below, not just to where you can get these download files, but also to the company I use to print them. So maybe you can head towards that and unlock a bargain for yourself.
So cheesy. If you like all that cheese, feel free to like and subscribe to our videos.
I might dial back the cheese next time. Thank you so much for watching.